If you don't know, you're about to know right now. You're about to learn. Education. I'm Quindell Evans, BluePoetTree.com. This is the Blue Poetry Podcast. Thank you for listening. On this podcast, we speak about the habits that it takes to create success, the habits that it takes to create a successful life, and the habits that it takes to break through and overcome a stressful life. You feel me, them? So, on today's podcast, we're going to speak about how life is not your opponent, it's your teammate. You feel me? So play offense, not defense. That means make a plan A and go after it, no plan Bs. If you really trust and believe that life is on your side, you don't need plan Bs. You feel me, them? So that's what this podcast is going to be about. Life is your teammate, not your opponent. All right? So, you know how we kick it off? We kick it off with the affirmation pledge by Abiodun Oyewole, the creator and founder of The Last Poets. Yeah. So it goes like this. I want to be what I can be, to be proud, healthy and free. I want to say what I know to help my brothers and sisters grow. I want to feel good about me and blame no one for my misery, cause I'll be strong and turn it around. I want to go up, I'm not going down. I want to do what I can do to make all my dreams come true. Remember my past, the good and bad, how I made it art even when it was sad. I want to share whatever my gift. And when you're feeling low, I give you a lift. I want to live without fear and know that I'm blessed for being here. You know that you're blessed for being here. Just know that you're blessed for being here. Just know that we're blessed. All right, I might have messed it up. I don't know. I'm just feeling real good right now. But it's all good, you feel me? I think you got it, you know? So that's the affirmation pledge by Abiodun Oyewole. And the affirmation for life is your teammate and not your opponent is this. And if you don't know that, you know, if this is your first time listening to the Blue Poetry Podcast, I don't know. This is how we do things, you know. We start off with the pledge, then I give you an affirmation, you know, because I recite affirmations every day. I write affirmations every day. This is something that's a part of my life. I want to affirm greatness. I want to affirm success. I want to affirm what I want, and I want to affirm that I'm getting it. I want to affirm that I am able to get it. You know, affirmations is us speaking things into existence, speaking things into life, you know, such as I am beautiful, I am joyous, I am happy. Speaking these things so that we can begin to create it and see it and be it and believe it and live it, you know. So I create like poetic affirmations that are like two-line affirmations that rhyme and, you know, that allows me to reflect on myself, reflect on what I want to change, what I want to create, what I want to get better at, and, you know, pretty much track my progress, track exactly how I'm improving and where am I going. So the affirmation for today is plan A is to do everything in my power to make sure that my dreams come true. If that doesn't work, plan B is to create new ways to make sure that plan A pulls through. One more time. Plan A is to do everything in my power to make sure that my dreams come true. If that doesn't work, plan B is to create new ways to make sure that plan A pulls through. You feel me? And like I said, this is about life being your teammate, not your opponent. You know, when life is your teammate, not your opponent, all you need is plan A, because you know in your heart that it's going to work. Ain't no reason to make a plan B, you feel me? But I feel like one of the biggest issues holding us back from success is we don't know what we want. You know, like we don't have a concrete, for sure, plan A. Like, you know, like a lot of us, you know, me personally, this, you know, like I've always was kind of, you know, when I went to college, I majored in journalism. I thought I wanted to be a journalist, you know, and that was just because of certain opportunities that I had to learn about journalism, and it just, you know, it was like, oh, I learned about this. It seems interesting. I'll do this when I go to college. It wasn't like a for sure interest, something I deep down wanted to do. Not saying that like I don't enjoy it or like it or not interested in journalism at all, but it was something that I learned as along the way, and then be like, okay, so I'll major in that. It wasn't like I always wanted to be a journalist, so I majored in journalism, and then halfway through college, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. I switched to education, thought I wanted to be a teacher. My favorite line is, if you don't know, you're about to know right now. You're about to learn education. I like teaching. I like educating, and that's a part of me. But I thought that I wanted to do that. And then, like senior or junior year, I graduated super senior. So like senior year, I switched my major again to English, because I like writing. But the whole point is like, we don't have a for sure plan A. That goes to show this, like, our plan A's may change. What we actually want to do may change. A lot of us aren't sure. And it's not a problem that we aren't sure. The problem is that we're not learning how to be sure of what we want. We're not being taught how to be sure of what we want. We haven't created the habit of how to be sure of what we want. It's not just like, oh, you should be sure. It's like, yes, we should be sure, but how do we get into the habit of being sure of what we want? Everything is habitual. So like, if you are, if we are kind of unsure, that's the habit. We have the habit of being unsure. Some people just say, I don't know, all the time. Or just I don't know, I'm not sure all the time, and that's in their, vocabulary on a daily basis. I'm not sure, I don't know, and it becomes a habit to the point where they actually begin to be unsure of things all the time. They actually begin to act like they don't know, So like, it's a habit, We a lot of us aren't sure of what we want. We don't even have a concrete plan A. It took me, losing everything that I have, everything that I had, to realize like what I actually want to do. Like, I lost my job, my crib, all my money. And then I began to realize like what music is doing for me in my life, what music, poetry, and performing is doing for me in my life, and writing. Like, this is what I really want to do. Part of it is educational as well, but the whole point is, it's like, when do we create the time in our lives to sit back and think about what we really want? What we really want our plan A to be, what we really want our goals to be. A lot of our goals is predicated upon what our parents want for us, what our friends is interested in, what we kind of, are exposed to, by social media or, just certain opportunities that may come across. It may be like something in school, and they had like a competition for people who wanted to, go on a trip, and, like a high school competition, and the students could win a week to, I don't know, like Kansas or something. And when they get there, it's all about like learning about engineering. And then as a 7th or a 9th grader, 10th grader, you learn about engineering and all the things that go into engineering. You become interested in engineering, but it might not be something you really wanted to do. It might be, you might win the competition to go on this engineering trip, and you actually become super interested in engineering and realize, that your great uncle was an engineer too, and like, it's just like serendipity or whatever you want to call it. Like, it just happens to align in a certain way that it actually becomes your life goal. It actually becomes your life passion. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. That happens, but a lot of times we don't have a plan A. We're not sure of what we want. And, being sure what we want is very important, in this day and age. So it's like, because we could just go from job to job, from major to major, from interest to interest, from relationship to relationship, because we're not sure of what we want. Plan A is being sure of what we want, you feel me? Like, having a plan A means we know what we want, So a lot of us don't have plan A's, and what we end up having when we don't have a plan A is what? A bunch of plan B's. A bunch of like, well, if journalism don't work out, I'll do education. Well, if education don't work out, I'll do English. Or if engineering don't work out, I'll do technician. You know what I'm saying? If being a technician doesn't work, I'll be a construction worker, or I don't know, like I'll go to the military, or I'll try to be a cop, or I pass this test, I can be a security guard, or I want to. It's like whatever we get into the habit of having so many backup plans that we never get into the habit of just going after one initial goal, one initial plan, making sure that we can just do what we want to do, period. Because if you want it to be an electrician, or if you want it to be a doctor, go after it full force, with no hesitancy and no plan B, like if it doesn't work out. You feel me? Because if it doesn't work out, if there's a little way for it to work out, it might be hard. That little thing might be the hardest, most difficult thing to do, then there's always a way. And that is plan B. Plan B is to find out how to make that little thing work. You feel me? How to just get through that difficulty, And I feel like when we're operating in that way, we're operating defensively. When we're walking, when we're operating out of plan Bs, when we always just have backup plans, when we're operating on backup plans, operating on this in the vibration of, if this doesn't work out, then I'll do this. If this doesn't work out, then I'll do this. We're always on the defense. We're never playing offense. But if life is your teammate, you don't need to play defense. You feel me? And I feel like we're doing that because we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that life is our teammate. You feel me? And that's hard. It's not easy to believe that life is your teammate if you haven't been taught it, conditioned to believe that way. Learned that way through whatever experiences have taught you, whatever opportunities have taught you. But we're not believing in ourselves. A lot of us really don't believe in ourselves. I've been in predicaments where I didn't believe in myself, and that's why I probably have held back and not taken advantage of certain opportunities. And that's, because it was like, I don't know. I don't even believe I want to do that, if you ever have that feeling like, I want to do something, but I don't know if that I'll like it, that's like kind of like not believing in yourself, because it's like, do it, like if you don't know if you like it, find out, so it's that vibe. I've been there where it's like, I don't know if I like that, I don't want to do that. Instead of just like trying it, trying it because I thought about doing it, And I'm getting to that point now where it's like anything that I think of, I do, and I'm not even thinking about if I'm gonna like it, or like I created health tea cigarettes. I'm not a cigarette smoker, but it's like I could 3 years ago, if I would have thought of that idea, literally I would have probably been like, what am I doing selling health tea cigarettes? What am I doing selling cigarettes? What am I doing that? But it's like, I would have been like, I don't know if I would like that. I don't know if I want to do that long term. I want to be an artist. I just want to make music. But me selling health tea cigarettes is part of me. It's part of my plan A. Because my plan A is to express my creativity in any way that I can. Not hold back any ideas that come to my mind. Literally. So if I have an idea, do it. That's my plan A. Do everything that comes to mind, whether it's music, cigarettes, books, podcasts, whatever it is, workout, like just do it, because that's my plan A, is to do anything. When I get into the habit of doing anything that comes to my mind, without thinking about whether I'm going to like it or not, without thinking about what's going to go wrong along the way, then I'll be free, personally. That's what I want to be. I want to be free to express myself creatively in every way. No plan Bs, no like, oh, well, if the cigarette thing don't work out, then I'll do. No, it's like, I'm not even thinking that. I'm just going north, like just going up. You feel me? And that's why I feel like my progress is where my progress lies, is me being creative no matter what. And a lot of us don't believe in ourselves. I'm not saying I believe in myself more than anybody else, but I'm learning how to believe in myself more and more every day, more and more as I try new things, more and more as I open up to my possibilities, to my capabilities, to my talents, my skills, and honing my habits to believe in myself, honing my habits to have a plan A and go after it with all energy, you know, and creating things that creating a better life for myself, you know, and I feel like that is a big problem in the world. It's like we don't believe in ourselves, you know, like we don't believe that we can do anything, and I feel like we don't believe in ourselves because we can see how hard it is. We can see how hard it's going to be, and that is just like I don't know if I want to even try that hard, you know. And we're the easy route is getting to a certain point where it gets hard, stopping and doing something else, and you know, and getting to it, and then whenever it gets hard and that thing, we stop and we do something else, and then when we you know, that's operating defensively. It's like, okay, I'm done here. I can't do anymore. I don't want to even, I don't want this stress. I don't want to try this hard. Somebody else could do this. This is not me. So we are operating at entry level all the time. We're operating at entry level and we're never advancing in what we want, you know. And when we do that, we get into the habit of never really trying hard. We're just working from plan Bs. And when we plan over and over again to do something in case something doesn't happen, we're just operating defensively, creating a negative habit that's not going to allow us to grow. And we need to put ourselves in positions to grow. You know, we need to operate offensively. We need to operate with life on our side. We need to operate with self-belief, self-esteem. You know, when we operate defensively, we never put all of our energy into one thing. And that one thing we really want to do specifically. And when we operate defensively, putting our energy in you know, expressing our energy sporadically, we get into the habit of that. That becomes a habit where we never operate, you know, trying to do one thing, trying to get to our plan A, trying to get exactly what we want. We're like, oh, I want to do this. I don't know if I want to do this, so I'll do this just in case this doesn't work out. And if this doesn't work out too, I have another thing that doesn't work out. I mean, that might work out. And you could say the same thing for me, you know? So, you know, to not say like I'm a hypocrite. You could say the same thing for me. You could say that all of the ways that I'm expressing myself creatively is the same thing. Like I'm doing this and I'm spreading myself in so many different ways, but that's not how I feel. But if that's how you want to look at it, then you can. I feel like I'm expressing myself creatively. I'm not putting my energy into something outside. I'm not putting my energy into something outside of me thinking that what I'm doing is not going to work. I feel like everything I'm doing is going to work. You know, personally, I feel like everything that I do ties together in a way. So I don't feel like I'm like going to drop everything if one thing works. You know, I'm not going to drop writing because the cigarettes is starting to get somewhere. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I like doing everything that I do, you know, but if that's how you want to look at it, like I'm doing this and just in case this doesn't work, it makes sense. But that is what I mean, is that like we have that belief. I don't have that belief. Like I'm doing something and hoping that one thing works. You know, I want everything to work. I like doing everything that I do. I'm not doing something because I feel like something else isn't gonna work. You know, I like doing everything that I do, and I feel like life is my teammate, which is fueling me, you know, to let me know like I have one life to live. I'm gonna try everything I can before I leave this earth, because if I don't, I'll be like that what if guy, who be like, oh, I thought of cigarettes, but I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Would have been cool, but it's like somebody else is probably doing that anyway. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it because I thought of it, and it's just that simple. I want to play offense. I want to create and run plays so that I can win, so that I can score, so that I can put all my energy into scoring. I'm not playing defense to try to stop life from scoring on me. I'm not playing defense to try to stop being scored on. And that's what I think we do when we're like having plan Bs. It's like, okay, plan B is if this doesn't work, you know, plan B is to do this if that don't work. You know, like plan B is to play defense. You know, like playing defense is plan B to me. You know, like if you playing defense, that's a plan B, because you're like, okay, if this doesn't work, then I have to try another thing. It's like, yes, if this doesn't work, I'm going to try another thing so that I can get back to plan A. I'm not going to try another thing that leads me to another plan. You feel me? It's okay to try new things. when a plan don't work. But I want to try new things to get back to that plan, you know? Instead of taking my energy and applying it to somewhere else, I already done put so much energy into plan A. Let's put a different type of energy. Let's put more of a different type of energy in it. You feel me? Plan A is to do everything in my power to make sure that my dreams come true. If that don't work, plan B is to create new ways to make sure that plan A pulls through. I want to find different ways to make plan A work. When I reach that point where it's like, oh, it's getting too hard, I'm not going to stop and do something else to go to another plan. I'm going to stop and do something else to go to the same plan. I'm going to create a new way to get to the same place, you know, because if I'm doing the same thing and I'm not getting to the place that I want to be, then I'm insane. I must create something new to do, but to get to the same place. If my goal is to win the game by scoring, I have to figure out how many offensive plays that I can come up with so that I can score, so that I can score as many points as I can to win. You feel me? Because life is my teammate. It's not my opponent. I'm not playing against it. It's playing with me. I'm going to play with life. I'm not going to act like a victim to life. Like, oh, this is happening and I can't do this. Or if this wasn't happening, I can't do this. This is happening and it's fueling me. This is making me go harder. This is putting the pressure on me. So I want to be a clutch player, a clutch offensive player. Sometimes we have to be clutch defensively. I'm not saying never have a plan B. I'm not saying never be defensive. I'm saying make sure that your defense is supplementing your offense. Simple as that. Make sure that you are defensive to get back on the offense. You feel me? Not just playing defense only. Not just trying to score on defense only. Got to score on offense too. You feel me? I want to play on life's team and trust and believe that my plan A is achievable in life. You know, this is all about self-esteem. A lot of us don't believe in ourselves. If we trust and believe in plan A, then we're going to definitely put all our energy in plan A. And that's when we'll begin to do everything in our power to score, to do what we plan to do, our plan A only. And our plan B will be to get to plan A. And of course, things don't always work out. In the worst case scenario, when things don't work out, with all the energy that we put in to try extremely hard to get to plan A still don't work, it's okay. It teaches us how to succeed at whatever else we put our energy toward. So even if we actually get to that point, you know, things happen where something tragic happens, you know, like you was trying to be a teacher, you know, you put all your energy, you really wanted to be a teacher, you got your certificate, and, you know, maybe, who knows what happens where you get your certificate revoked and you can't teach. And they say you can never be teaching ever again. Now you're like, I can't be a teacher. Plan B comes. Now when it's time to input that plan B, that, you know, maybe you didn't have a plan B because you're totally plan A, but the whole point is all the energy that you put in to actually make plan A work and you've succeeded, but something happened that just took it all away, you now know how to do it again. So now you go to plan B knowing again that you can do it. You feel me? But if you're trying to get to plan A and it don't work out, you know, because you stopped halfway or stopped when it got hard or you just put in all your energy and it just didn't work at all, it might be harder. It might weigh down on you, on your self-esteem, and it just make you feel like, oh, I don't even want to try. You know, like I'm gonna try plan B, but I just feel like, I don't know. Like, you know, you never know how to win. You know, you never know how to win. Floyd Mayweather always talks about how he doesn't know how it feels to lose. And when he's fighting somebody who knows how to lose, he knows that he's gonna win because they know how to lose, and all he does is know how to win. So it's that mindset of like, I know how to win. So if you actually, you know, like another example, if, you know, I talked about the Inky Johnson example, but another hypothetical example would be, you know, if you know, I don't know, like if you know, like, I don't know, like if you try hard and you succeed and then something happens where what you succeeded at has to just be taken away suddenly, the fact that you succeeded, you have it in your DNA, you have it in your memory, to succeed. So creating another plan A, creating a plan A, having a backup plan now shouldn't be too difficult. You feel me? So if worst come to worst, after you succeeded, you know how to succeed again. And that's why it's important to just put all your energy into succeeding and going to plan A. And this is me speaking from a place of, this is what I want for my life. And this is what I want for the people in my life too. So if you're listening, this is what I want for you, Because as long as you know it's not over, if the worst scenario ain't come, then we can figure something out and get back to our plan A. And it's just that simple. You feel me? My plan A is to do everything in my power to make sure that my dreams come true. And if that don't work, plan B is to create new ways to make sure that plan A pulls through. Life is my teammate, not my opponent. If you don't know, you're about to know right now. You're about to learn. Education. You feel me then? BluePoetTree.com. Log onto the site, listen to what I got for you. And yeah, let me know what you feel about the podcast. Thank you for listening. Let's go.